The restaurant was quiet that morning, a little too quiet for a Monday. The sound of utensils clinking, soft jazz playing in the background, and the occasional hiss from the coffee machine filled the air. But then, he walked in. Dressed in a crisp black suit, shoes so polished they mirrored the world beneath them, and eyes as cold and unreadable as winter frost. Behind him, a small boy in a wheelchair, maybe 7 or 8, fragile-looking and motionless except for his wide, searching eyes. The billionaire father guided the chair to a corner table, wordlessly, stoically, like a man used to silence and pain. No one dared approach them, except her. A young waitress with tired eyes and a hopeful heart. She smiled gently at the boy, knelt beside him, and did something no one in that restaurant had ever done. She knelt down, and fed him, spoon by gentle spoon, like he was her own child. And what neither of them knew in that moment, was that her small act of kindness would shatter walls, uncover secrets, and change her life forever. Glowing star, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the magic of unexpected moments, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel Rapple of Hope. Your support brings these powerful stories to life. Glowing star. Her name was Emily Ross. 24 years old, working double shifts at the Morning Hearth diner just outside the city limits. Every day started before sunrise, and most nights ended with swollen feet and silent tears on the bus ride home. Life had not been kind to Emily. She had dreams once, of becoming a nurse, of caring for people, of helping children like her little brother, Daniel, who had passed away 5 years ago from muscular dystrophy. She never talked about Daniel. The pain still felt too fresh, too raw. The world had moved on, but she hadn't. And maybe that's why she couldn't look away when she saw that boy roll in. The child's name was Jamie, though she wouldn't learn that until much later. His father, known in the business world as Marcus Thorne, was a man wrapped in rumors and wealth, one of those billionaires you read about in Forbes or see speaking at summits, always calm, always calculated. But in that booth, with his son's head slumped to the side and food untouched, he just looked tired. Not the kind of tired that comes from board meetings and jet lag, the kind that comes from helplessness. The kind that only a parent with a sick child can ever truly understand. Emily didn't hesitate. She walked up slowly, greeted them with a soft, respectful smile, and asked if Jamie might like some soup. Marcus barely looked at her. He just nodded once. But when she brought the bowl, something inside her told her not to just place it down and walk away. Jamie's small hand struggled to move. The spoon shook in his grip, and the moment it dropped, clattering to the floor, Emily instinctively picked it up and wiped it clean. She looked into his eyes, the same kind of eyes Daniel had, and without asking permission, she pulled up a chair, dipped the spoon, and gently lifted it to his lips. He blinked twice, then opened his mouth. Marcus said nothing. He watched, almost coldly. But inside, something was happening. He wasn't used to people treating Jamie like a child. He was used to pity, discomfort, or worse, complete avoidance. But this young woman had just knelt down like it was the most natural thing in the world. And for the first time in a long time, Marcus felt something shift. Emily didn't ask for a tip. She didn't know who Marcus Thorne was, she didn't care. She saw a hungry boy who reminded her of her brother. When Jamie smiled after a few bites, she smiled back, a little too long, a little too deeply. Then she excused herself and returned to her station. The next day, Marcus returned. Jamie in tow. He sat in the same booth. Said nothing. Ordered the same soup. Again, Emily fed the boy without hesitation. This time, Marcus spoke. He asked her name. Asked if she had experience with special needs children. She told him, quietly, about Daniel. Her voice trembled, but she didn't cry. Marcus just nodded again. No promises. No compliments. Just a single word, thank you. Over the next 2 weeks, the pattern continued. Always the same time. Always the same booth. And always Emily. Word began to spread in the diner, the rich man, the silent boy, the waitress he always asked for. Some teased her, some grew curious, but Emily paid no mind. For her, it wasn't about attention or connections. It was about the boy. About the way his eyes began to light up when he saw her. About the way his tiny hand began to grip hers, just a little stronger, each time. But one evening, everything changed. Emily came to work late. Her eyes red from crying. Her manager almost sent her home. But she begged to stay. She needed the hours. Rent was due. And the hospital bills for her mother, who had just been diagnosed with early-stage Alzheimer's, were already stacking up. That night, Marcus arrived again. This time, he didn't just observe. He asked her directly, "What's wrong?" She tried to smile it off. Said it was nothing. But Jamie reached for her hand. Held it. And suddenly, she broke down. Right there. In front of the billionaire. In front of the boy. She told them everything. The dying mother. The dreams on pause. The debt. The drowning. Marcus didn't speak. He simply stared at her for a long moment, then reached into his coat pocket and handed her a card. "Come to this address tomorrow. Bring your resume. If you're serious about wanting to help children, you deserve more than this." She looked at the card. It was an address uptown. A foundation. She'd heard the name before. A non-profit for disabled children. It was one of Marcus's initiatives. But she never thought a girl like her could belong in a place like that. The next morning, she went. Shaking, unsure, wearing her best thrifted blouse. They interviewed her. Watched her interact with children. And within 2 hours, they offered her a full-time position as a caregiver and therapy assistant. Salary. Benefits. Training included. It felt unreal. Like a dream she wasn't allowed to have. And that wasn't all. 2 days later, her landlord knocked on her door. Told her rent had been paid in full for the year. Anonymously. The hospital bills? Cleared. A new fridge? Delivered. And just when she thought it couldn't get more unbelievable, a private clinic offered her mother free memory treatment, courtesy of a sponsor who preferred to remain unnamed. Emily knew. Of course, she knew. Marcus never said it. Never needed to. But his son had smiled more in 2 weeks with her than he had in 2 years of specialists and therapists. And that mattered more to Marcus than all the money in the world. Months passed. Emily flourished at the foundation. Jamie made progress. Slowly but surely. And Marcus? He changed too. He started coming by the center, not just to check in, but to help. To play. To listen. The staff noticed. The world didn't. But Emily did. She saw the walls fall. Saw the man beneath the suit, a father desperate to believe again. And as the seasons changed, so did their bond. It was never about romance. It was about redemption. About healing. About strangers becoming family through one simple, kind act. All because a tired waitress knelt down one morning, and fed a boy with love. Sparkling heart, if this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share this video with someone who believes in the power of kindness. Subscribe to Rapple of Hope for more stories that restore your faith in humanity. Your support means more than you know. Sparkling heart.